Hi, it's Mama Junaid. I'm here with my friend Isabel. Isabel's welcomed us into her home today. Thank you, Isabel, for welcoming us.
Thank you.
So we're here at your home in Homeview, and you're going to cook us a special Chilean meal for us today?
Yes.
You and your mom?
Yes.
And which one's your house?
My house is that next door.
Your house is next
and
door?
This is Mum's house.
And this is Mum's. Beautiful. Now, thank you for having us here, and we'll come inside and see what you're going to cook for us today.
No worries. Thank
Beautiful.
you. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. So, what are we cooking today, ladies?
We're cooking a dish called Charquican, and that's from Chile.
Yeah?
And it's a very simple dish with not many ingredients, but it's nice to feed the family.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what's special about the meal for you?
Memories.
Memories. Tell me the memories. What do you remember?
My grandmother.
Your grandma?
Yeah.
She taught you this meal?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes,
Is that your dad's mom or your mom's mom?
My mom's.
Your mom's mom.
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you learn it?
Oh, well,
When
in,
you were
in Santiago.
In Chile, you learned it? You used to cook with Granny?
Actually, no, but she showed me.
Showed you
I was
too?
always around
Nice.
when she was cooking.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you learned it with your grandma?
Oh, I would have been, 13.
Oh, okay. In your teenage years.
Yeah.
Nice. And did your mom also cook this meal a lot?
Yes, everybody does.
Everyone cooks it? And what about your daughter Isabel? Did you learn to do it as well?
Yes, I know how to cook it.
Yeah?
I've never cooked it, but I know how to cook it.
You know how to? So, okay, so maybe today we can get Isabel to make it with you, eh? Her first cooking lesson from her great grandmom. No problem. So tell me a bit. What do we have here initially before we start?
Okay, the
What are we doing?
ingredients. We have boiled pumpkin, sweet potato, and potato.
Okay.
And that varies in quantity according to the amount that you want to cook.
Okay.
For a small family, a large family.
And we just chop it up into small pieces and stuff?
Isabel did. I don't. I just cook it in half.
I chopped it, I peeled it.
Nice.
Normally, I just cut it in half.
Okay.
And the pumpkin no bigger, comfortable for me to deal with, to be able to peel it. So it doesn't matter because it's gonna get mashed up.
Oh, okay. So we just boil it to soften it?
Yeah.
And then we get it ready?
Yep.
Okay. And what's the next thing we're doing?
We put in the fry pan garlic and chopped onion.
Okay.
Just one little onion.
One clove and one onion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not big.
And when we do it, is the pan on hot?
Yes.
So it has to be hot?
Well, it's in medium.
We want it to medium heat?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great.
It's in medium heat.
And so this meal, like you're saying, it's from Chile.
Yes.
Is it like a very traditional dish from Chile?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
It's traditional.
And in the different parts of Chile, does it vary much? Do you notice
Probably.
that everybody has their own little twist on it?
Yes. Each family or region will add or take something.
Something different?
Yeah.
Mum's
Okay.
friend, after when the meal is cooked,
Yeah.
she does a fried egg and she
Okay.
put that on top.
Oh,
But,
Not me.
But Mum has never used the fried egg.
yeah, you don't like it?
No.
Okay,
And they fight about which is the best one.
nice.
So I'm just adding paprika.
Paprika, and that's sweet paprika.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter which one?
No.
And roughly, what, about a tablespoon there, or teaspoon, would you say? However you like the flavor? Alright, no worries.
Paprika doesn't have a strong flavor.
Yeah.
So it just complements other spices.
Okay.
like cumin.
Okay. And that's ground cumin that we're putting in with
Yes,
it? Okay.
ground cumin.
I love cumin.
And black pepper.
Black pepper?
Other
Okay.
people like white pepper.
Yeah.
I like black pepper.
I prefer black pepper myself. The white pepper makes me sneeze a lot.
Oh, really?
Every time, yeah. It always tickles my nose.
And once the onion is just started to change texture and color,
Yeah.
we add the mince.
The mince? Okay. And the mince, we're just putting it like mince? It's not like meatballs or something?
No,
right?
no.
It's mince as in mince?
Yeah.
Okay. So back in Chile, with
Yes.
this kind of meal and that, would you guys cook it on special occasions
No,
or
no.
is
It's
it
an
just
everyday thing.
everyday kind of meal? But just they like it a lot, yeah?
The dish is to do about what you got leftovers. You got little bits of this, little bit of that. And
Put it
mix
all together?
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. And today we're using its beef mince, am I right?
Yes.
So we're adding the carrot into that?
Yeah. Shredded. I like it shredded.
Okay.
And that's my husband.
How you going?
Hello.
Come in, come in.
Am I coming in at a bad moment?
No, you come in the right moment. What's your
Graham.
name, brother?
Graham.
How are you, Graham? I'm Mohammed.
Hi, Mohammed.
How's things?
Yeah, good.
So,
I won't interrupt. I'll just get out of your way.
no. You're welcome to stand and participate in the conversation.
You could
There's
ask
nothing-
him what does it feel like me married to a Chilean woman.
Ah, no. She put the spotlight onto you. How many years are you married now?
Today?
To a Chilean.
Today,
33 years.
33.
Anniversary today. Ah,
Yeah.
so you invited us on a very special day, eh?
Yes, you are honoured.
We are very honored. And
cricket on. Cricket and anniversary.
Gilda told me I'm very lucky to be here because the cricket is on, and she doesn't normally let anyone interrupt her in a cricket. Yeah,
It's quite a sacrifice.
it's
on
quite
your
a
part.
sacrifice, and that's so. I missed your name again, brother.
Graham.
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 Thank you, Graham. I'm terrible with names. I might have to ask it to you again.
I could be worse.
No, I don't think so. What's your background? Australian born?
Yes, Australian born, grew up in Adelaide.
Nice. And your family is around there in
Yes.
Adelaide?
Yes.
Most of them?
Yes, that's right.
How long have you been in Brisbane yourself?
3 years.
3 years. Okay. Nice. And that. Okay. And where did your family all come from originally? How many generations have they been in Australia for?
About
would you
3
say?
generations on my mother's side
Okay.
and 2 generations on my father.
On your dad's? And which countries did they originate from?
England from my mother and Sweden from my father.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice. So, did you get to learn some Spanish with Gilda over the years?
No?
It worked the other way. I studied Spanish 15 years before I met Gilda.
Oh, okay. So you still speak a bit of it?
A bit.
Yeah, that's nice. More than Isabel speaks?
Definitely.
Nice. Well, and has Gilda cooked this meal for you before?
Oh, often.
Often?
It's one of my favourites.
Nice. What do you base it on? So like at home, what's your guys' meal? So you got quite a mixture there. Swedish background, English background, and now with Chilean food as well.
Well, I don't contribute much English and Swedish background in the realm of cooking.
Okay. You just enjoy eating whatever's being offered?
Yes.
You like my stuff?
It's mostly Australian, but
Okay.
yeah, I like most things.
Nice. And that I think, I don't know, we often have our meals and they like to, I know my wife also likes to, my wife's Lebanese and she likes to have her Lebanese cooking and that as well, but we also eat all different things and stuff and that. And are you into cricket as well?
No.
Not so much.
I can live without it.
So the English side didn't get in. So Gilda, tell us about the cricket. Where does that come from? Because it's not a game in Chile so much, is it? From Isabel? You got mum into cricket?
Yes.
Ah, you
Well,
never told me that.
I learned cricket. I had to play cricket when I was in primary school, and watching the cricket on the telly.
Okay.
And at first it was a really strange game because we used to see these people dressed in white and walk around the oval and chase this ball and hit it with this bat, with this stick.
Yeah?
We didn't understand it, but then Mum met some friends and they had kids, and the kids taught me how to play cricket.
Nice.
And then I just fell in love with cricket.
Like it?
And I explained it to Mum what the gist of the game was, and then she became addicted, and now she's
Taken
probably
over?
addicted. She's a bossy boot when it comes to cricket. She can't be disturbed.
No. So what kind of matches do you guys watch?
Well, we're watching the test, the Ashes test now,
Yeah?
but yeah, we watch all crickets.
You
The
don't
big-
mind the long games? It's not the 2020 series only?
Yeah, I like all of it. So the test, the one-day matches, the 2020.
And do you guys get to go and watch much of it live?
We have a couple of times have gone to the Gabba,
Okay.
and we went to watch a test and a one-day match, and it was a real disaster because you miss everything. Like you miss someone got out, and it was like, how did they get out? There's no replay. They didn't have the screen at the time,
Ah.
so it was like, oh damn, we missed it. So from then on, we decided that it was better to watch it at
Watch
home,
it at home, so
where you can
can
see the replay.
catch the replays. That's nice. And where was primary school for you, Isabel?
Well, we lived in Whyalla in South Australia.
Okay,
Whyala's like 6 hours from Adelaide.
I see. Is that the smaller town? Or
It's a much smaller town,
Yeah.
really small town.
Adelaide's meant to be a small town already, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Comparison,
It's a very
but,
small city,
small
actually.
city, yeah. So
But
Whyalla, yeah?
Whyalla is like a really small town. It's a BHP mining town,
Oh, okay.
so that's where most people work. And
Is that how you guys ended up there with the mining stuff as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, my dad was a fitter and turner, and he obtained employment in initially the shipyard. There was a
Yeah.
shipyard there
Yeah.
where they build ships, and he was working there for a couple of years, and then when that closed, he got a job at BHP
Okay.
working as a fitter and turner, and he worked there for years.
Nice. Nice.
So I went to school, primary school and high school there.
Okay. And then when did you guys come to Brisbane?
Only 3
You,
years ago.
3 years. But
Yeah,
Isabel, you've been here a while, am I
Yeah.
right?
But we've from South Australia, my parents went to live in Darwin,
Yes.
and they lived in Darwin for 12 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I joined them a few years later, and then from there we all moved down to Brisbane.
Nice.
Well,
No,
Warwick.
To Warwick,
Warwick initially. So my parents lived in Warwick for
20 years.
20 years, and then 3 years down in Brisbane.
Okay. So you guys like the smaller towns a bit more?
Yeah, we do.
I like Warwick. Warwick is very different. Not many people from Chile there though, I don't think. Hey? Or you're the only family?
Or other countries.
Yes, very much just country Australian folk out that way. And that
Very old-fashioned,
is it?
narrow-minded.
How did you find it when you lived out there?
Oh, well, difficult because it was hard for me to get a job, and there was, being ethnic, and it was hard.
It was hard?
Yeah.
Yeah? And but you were already here living in Australia for a number of years before then, so
Yes.
I'm guessing you spoke English and everything
Yes.
quite fluently.
That doesn't matter. Look at me. Do I look Australian?
I don't know.
No blue eyes?
Yes, and the accent.
Yes, and the accent?
And how did you? What were some of the kind of challenges that you found? What were the challenges that you found?
Well,
when
there
you were-
was, I did a course of,
Because
so
you
that I
mentioned you were
could-
trying to do some work and. Sorry.
yeah, I was trying to get a job anywhere,
Yeah.
doing anything.
Okay.
But I was old and I was ethnic. No, real good.
Found it hard to break in?
Yeah.
And what kind of work did you end up doing afterwards then?
An abattoir.
Abattoir out at Warwick? Yeah?
Yeah.
It's mainly beef abattoir out there, is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I worked in the laundry for 8 years.
Okay.
It was the cleanest job out of.
That was the best job you can get in the factory.
In the abattoir. So what are we doing now? We're adding, these are green
Yeah,
beans.
veggies. So we are.
So far, just to recap, we've got the onions and garlic that we made first, then we
Yeah.
added the mince,
Yes,
and now the carrots.
yes.
Did we wait for the carrots to soften?
No,
Do we have to
no,
wait, or
no,
do we
no,
just wait for the?
And this is Mum's variation because some people don't put greens in the dish, but Mum likes to put green.
Okay, beautiful.
I put everything.
That way you're getting all your veggies.
It's all in there. Nice. And tell me, Isabel, what's in this other pot here?
It was hot,
That's
hot,
okay.
hot.
That's okay.
We've
What have we got in that one?
Pumpkin, potatoes, sweet potato, and yeah, just boiling water. So
Okay.
these are ready.
So they've been boiling away just to soften up, and you
Yeah.
cut them up quite small.
Yeah,
Right.
I cut them up quite small so they don't take long.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Mum cuts them differently, but
Yeah.
since I was the preparer today, I did it my way.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you and Mum cook together often?
No, Mum mostly cooks on her own.
Yeah.
Unless we have a barbecue, I might come over and do the salads and
Okay.
And Christmas.
And
She
Christmas.
cooks things at Christmas.
oh yeah,
Nice.
we do.
We have big dinners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We cook, so we've got food for days, so we don't have to cook for days.
And do a lot of the family and that come over and friends and that? Or?
Well, it's mainly family. My sister and her husband.
We just ask. We don't have family. All our family is back in Chile.
Okay.
It's just Isabel, my other daughter, her husband, and my husband. That's
I
it.
see.
We 5.
5 of you, yeah. And that. And when was the last time you went to Chile?
We went in March.
March this year?
this year.
Okay, that's nice.
Mum and I went for 4 weeks.
Beautiful.
And,
was it after a long time or
For me, it
Yeah.
was after 30 years.
30 years? So what was that experience like for you after
Well,
all
it
these
was
years
very-
to go and see?
Well, the first time I went, I was in my early 20s,
Yeah?
and I got to see my great-grandmother and my grandmother and my aunties. This time, my grandmother had passed away, my great-grandmother was passed away, my auntie also had passed away, so there was it was just the cousins.
Yeah? And you guys still in contact? Do you talk
Yes.
with them? Did
Yeah.
you recognize them? Everyone seeing each other at this
Oh,
stage
it was
of life?
just beautiful because you feel the connection. You feel this is my family, this is where I belong. They're like me.
Yes.
You feel that instant.
Yeah.
We have the same sense of humor. We have the same likes and dislikes. You know, you don't even have to explain it. It just
So after all those years, you could just click again with
like
each other.
we saw them
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah? Beautiful. And do they...
It's this emotional connection that is there forever.
Beautiful.
It's
And-
this love and this, yeah. We talked all night.
One night,
Excuse me.
my cousin came to visit in the apartment that we were staying.
Yeah?
And I'll move this way.
And I'll just mention what you're doing now. We're just
Yes.
So that's corn and peas.
Yes.
Beautiful. And is there a reason that you're adding them like slowly one at a time?
No.
You can just go as it goes. No order.
No.
No specific
no,
order.
No.
As long as it cooks.
Just,
Put it in there. Let it cook.
yeah.
So tell me. You were telling me
So
you were there one night. and
one
what
night
happened?
we had my cousin came to stay at the apartment that we were staying because she worked, so she didn't have a lot of time off work. So
Okay.
only on weekends
Yeah.
she would come and stay over. So this weekend she came over and stayed, and we talked until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was so tired, I went to bed. Mum and my cousin stayed up until 6 o'clock in the morning. They were still yakking, talking. And by the time I got up, they had just gone to bed.
Yeah.
And it was time to get up already.
Nice.
But they were so tired. And all they did was talk and talk and
love
talk
to
and
catch up on,
laugh.
And stuff. So this was your cousin from mum's side?
Yeah.
And that, yeah. And around your age or a bit older?
Yeah, no, she's a bit older. Maybe 5 or 6 years older.
Yeah.
But yeah, like...
And you
Like
grew up with
nothing.
her back there? Do you have any... When you were born over there as well, weren't you? In
I
Chile?
was 8 when I left. And she would have been in her mid-teens
Okay.
when I left.
So you looked up to her and she was the bigger
Yeah.
cousin and that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so tell me a bit about like your guys' journey, when you came to Australia. What was it like? I know Mum just mentioned before about living in Warwick and that, but you came over from Chile directly to South Australia?
No, we arrived in Melbourne.
Melbourne first. Okay.
And we lived when we arrived, we were put into a hostel. And we lived in the
What do
hostel.
you mean a hostel? What kind of hostel?
It was like a hostel where all the migrants went to live.
Okay.
And they stayed there for a year. And
Yeah.
during that time, they provide you with meals, accommodation, teach you English,
Okay.
help you get employment.
But this was that that wasn't on a humanitarian kind
No,
of visa or
no.
something? It was different
We
to like a
pay,
refugee?
we pay for our meal and accommodation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what was the advantage of this hostel? Like why a hostel and not...
We were
Um,
secure, safe. They could show us how the laws and everything is in Australia, so you learn.
Okay.
It was brilliant.
Yeah?
And we were there
And
with
were you
other
around
cultures
other
too.
people? Okay, tell
From
me
all
about
over
that.
the place. We had, at the time that we arrived, they had the Timor was invaded by
Okay.
Indonesia. So
Yeah.
a lot of Timorese refugees came
Yeah?
and they were staying at the hostel as well. So like there was Spanish, there was people from Europe, Yugoslavian,
And the English.
you name it, people were there. And the actual complex itself was massive.
Okay.
Like it was gigantic, and
Yeah.
it was all units.
And it was catering specifically for people from overseas?
No.
That?
Well, there was
Or just...
a unit per person, per family.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of meals, it was all Australian meals.
Yes.
Ah,
I
all
know.
Australian meals. How did you manage?
I didn't speak a word of English.
Yeah?
I didn't recognize anything. Of course, I saw eggs, but they didn't look familiar to me. And I would point to the egg,
Yeah.
which it was boiled.
Okay.
That felt safe to me. So
Yeah.
I boil eggs for a month at least every day for breakfast.
Okay.
And then I have my coffee because the coffee was prepared with the milk. And then I started, I recognized potato salad. Yeah, potato salad. So I point to the woman, I want that.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, okay, no, boiled egg. So she gives me some, and then she says, you want some more? Yes. So she gives me this big plate of potato salad. Oh, and I just went and sat there with my potato salad. I took the first mouthful, and it had apple, pineapple, and the mayonnaise was sweet. Nothing like my potato salad. Big disappointment.
Yes. So you guys used to make potato salad back home
Yes.
in Chile?
Oh, yeah.
So
You like my potato salad.
Yeah.
We make
It's a special
our
one?
own mayonnaise, and it's not sweet. It's
Okay.
real egg.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Nice. And how long were you at this hostel for then? You said
About
you
10 months.
Okay.
But people could stay there for a year, and then they were helped to try and get accommodation from then on. So either through like Department of Housing equivalent in Melbourne, or rent privately. Those that had employment could obviously afford to rent, so they would rent something
Moved out and rented a
eventually
place.
bought a place.
Okay.
But people that couldn't went through the like Department of Housing equivalent, and got apartments. It was mostly apartment, not many houses.
And from there, your dad tried to find work. Did he
Well-
do his trade back in Chile? Was he a fitter and turner?
Yeah, he was a fitter and turner.
Is that how
in
you came
Chile.
in, like a skilled migrant? In
That's
that way?
right. At the time, fitter and turners were in high demand,
Okay.
and through because of Dad's skills, we were accepted to come to Australia.
Beautiful. And did you know anybody here when you guys arrived? Did you have family here or any
No.
other connection?
No, although
Other people from Chile?
Dad had a friend that had worked with him who was also a fitter and turner,
Yeah.
but he was living in Whyalla, and he contacted Dad when he arrived in Melbourne and said, "There's jobs here in
Okay.
Whyalla. Come and get
Get some work?
some work."
Great.
So Dad went ahead on his own and found a job. He found a job at the shipyard,
Okay.
and then we moved. We followed him a few months later. How long was Dad away?
Oh, no more than a month. Month and a half.
Month and a half?
Yeah. Because I was working at the hostel.
What's this one? Was that zucchini?
Zucchini.
Okay, so grated zucchini.
Yep.
And about 2 zucchinis we used, or
Yes.
one?
Yeah, I did too.
2? Okay. So you were working at the hostel at the time?
Yeah.
What kind of work were you doing?
In
those
the
days?
serving, cleaning tables, serving breakfast, dinners, lunches.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how was your English coming along by that stage? You
Zero.
started- Still zero?
I had
So-
no time to learn. I was working.
Working, yes.
So I was learning in the job.
Okay.
And people would talk to me and I'll say yes, no matter what they say to me,
Just
yes.
Say yes and smile.
Until this Chilean woman said to me, "Do you know what this guy is saying to you?" No. Well, say no from now on. Don't say yes. So from then on, no.
I won't ask you in front of the camera what you were saying then if you
I
had
got
to
no
say that.
idea.
Can't remember?
No.
She just told you better to say no?
He said something.
Maybe
yeah,
he was
yeah.
asking you something that you should say no.
I needed to say no for sure.
No. And so what was it like? How did you guys find it, like, when you moved here and you came to this new country? And
I cry every day
is it very hard?
for my family. No,
What was,
I mean,
what
it
was the
brilliant.
hardest part for you? What were you crying about?
Missing my family,
The family?
my friends.
Yeah.
I used to go to the post office in the hostel every day to see there was mail.
Okay.
Until the first letter arrived. It took a month.
1 month? So
This is just tomato chop.
one tomato? Is
No,
that
this is from a can, and I'm using it because I don't have anything else to use it on. And
Okay.
I opened it only yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's fresh.
yeah? The peeled tomato? one?
Yes, yes.
Great.
And that's it. This is it. Now we let it be until everything is cooked.
Okay.
Then we mash this and mix it.
Okay.
And that's the dish.
That's the dish. Cool. We'll wait and see. But I'm interested in your story. So you were saying that the family was the main thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So the hardest thing out of everything. So even though you were in a new country and you didn't know anybody and you couldn't speak the language, you found that the hardest thing for you at that stage was to leave your family behind?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes.
And what
What kept me alive and healthy and survive? Music.
music?
Yes,
Is that Chilean music?
yes.
Dancing?
Well, I didn't dance, but yes, in the hostel there was these Filipino families. They love dancing,
Yeah?
and I love dancing. So we used to get together weekends, all the families, and we just dance in the middle of the courtyard. We had a lovely time.
Nice time?
Yeah.
I'm guessing, like what you're saying to me, the hostel had everybody from all different countries. How was that experience, when you saw Australia and you saw all these different people from all different countries come together in the one place? How did
That
you
was
feel?
great.
You
Great.
enjoyed it?
Yeah.
what did you
Yeah.
feel that? Because to me, that's one of the main things. Like what I'm showing in these kinds of videos, is that's what I love about Australia, is that there's all of us from all different
Yes.
places that all
Yes.
come here and that. And then when you moved out into the smaller towns like Whyalla, what was that like for you? Because
was a
I'm guessing
shock.
it was a small town, especially after
And
being settled in
yeah,
Melbourne for
no.
10
It
months.
was very shocked because it was a really small town.
Yeah?
Like really, Whyalla is like,
Oh God, this.
it's only a little bit bigger than Warwick is
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
So it's very small.
And did the people welcome you into the town? Was it hard to establish
Well,
yourselves?
the multicultural community was good.
Okay.
We always belonged to a multicultural community because it meant parties, socializing, music, food, and soccer.
Yeah.
Like there was soccer clubs from, the Italians, the Greeks,
the
Croatians, the Spanish, the
Great.
English. So Saturday and Sundays was soccer. So people used to go there and spend
Not
the whole
cricket,
day
huh?
soccer.
No,
No,
yet.
that
We didn't know cricket yet.
soccer was the thing. My dad used to play soccer.
Yes.
So we used to go and watch him, and that was really nice. And then we met some Spanish speaking people, and we got together. We had parties, music, food.
Dancing, lots of dancing. For no reason. You guys come and we had lunch or something, put the music on, we dance.
Dancing? Beautiful.
So it's just part of the, but that was the survival for me,
Yes. The music?
music.
Okay. That's what kept your connection from
That's
back home?
what, and I could survive with anything. It didn't matter.
Nice.
Yeah.
And at that stage, I'm guessing, like how many years ago are we talking? What year?
42
did you,
years ago,
That was a while, okay. Tell me what year was it?
1975.
75 you came in, okay. So at that stage, all the international phone calls were very expensive.
We had no
We had
phone
no
calls.
internet or email
No,
or anything
no.
like that.
It was all
Letters
writing.
used to take about a month,
A
like you
month.
said, when you
Yeah.
sent the letter and
Yeah.
then to get the reply.
Yeah.
And it was a month each way, right?
Yes.
A month when you
Yes.
sent it and then another month
Yeah.
to receive it.
I would write every day
Okay.
to my mother, to my sister, to my auntie, to my best friend. So I'll be getting a letter at least a week from response
All of
from
them?
all those people.
Nice.
So
And
that
that's-
was good.
And how many years was it after you left that you saw the family again then?
89. From 75, I went the first time 89.
89, eh? That's a long
Yeah.
time. And did you get to speak to them on the phone much, or it was too
No,
expensive?
no, too expensive.
Too expensive, yeah. And what about the Chilean community and people you could relate to? Was there many people in the area that
We
you
had a
found?
few families, friends that we, until today, we're still friends.
Still friends with
and
them?
we connect.
And
Nice.
visit.
And they come to
they've come
visit.
to visit.
Okay, they're still in South Australia?
No,
or-
no,
no.
Melbourne.
They're
Very
See,
everywhere.
well.
a lot of them left. Quite a few families left Whyalla.
Yeah.
Once the shipyard closed, a lot of people left Whyalla and went to live in Sydney or Melbourne.
Okay.
And we stayed in Whyalla, so a lot of our friends left. But we're still in contact with them now from Melbourne.
Nice. And what brought you guys to Australia? Like, why did you, back in those years? I mean, it was
There
so
was a-
isolated and so far from Chile.
Yeah, there was a president elected in in Chile, and a General Pinochet took over and killed lots of people.
Okay. So there was
And-
some fighting.
It was
In the
it was
country.
horrible. Machine guns at night. I used to get the girls on the floor and we just we couldn't live like that. And my husband had a friend in Australia who was saying, "Come, come,"
Much better?
and that's what we did. We applied.
You
It wasn't
applied,
up to us.
Yes.
We applied, and we were lucky that they needed fitter and turner when we came.
Okay.
And because we were young, and the girls were young, so we were a good family to be accepted in Australia.
Take it. Yeah.
So that's what happened. We were
Nice.
very, very lucky.
Lucky. And then when you came here, having the situation back home, none of your family, like, you know, all the people you used to miss, nobody else wanted to come to Australia, or they couldn't come?
They
What
couldn't.
was it like?
They couldn't.
They couldn't come? Why,
No,
why couldn't they
Australia stopped. Australia didn't have a migration from South America at the time.
come? Okay.
And we came in thanks to Gus Whitlam, which was a Prime Minister of Australia, who they demoted.
Yes.
He lost his job.
He lost his job.
But he said, just get some people in from Chile.
Okay.
And we were just lucky.
And after he was Prime Minister of Australia, then they changed the rules, did they?
They
or-
did. They started changing all the rules.
So they wouldn't allow other people. Did your families apply to
No,
come to
no,
Australia?
no, none of them.
None of them?
No, we were the only ones.
Okay. And that's, yes. And it is very hard to be away from everybody.
Mm.
Like you said, you know, the main thing. And you guys then not having like your cousins to grow up with and stuff like that.
Aunties,
What
grandparents.
was that like, you know, when you were a child and you know, all the people you knew as a kid, and then suddenly no one's around anymore and things. What was that feeling like, isn't it?
Oh, it was very hard. In Chile, we lived in our house before we came to Australia. My grandmother lived with us, my uncle lived with us, my auntie lived with us, grandma, and the four of us. So there was all these people in the family. We were used to having aunties, uncles, grandma, and we
And
came
the other
here.
family was also nearby where you lived
No, but
back
they
in
didn't
Chile?
live nearby, but they traveled by bus.
To come, so you used
to
to get
visit.
together and see each other
Yeah.
and that?
Yeah.
So the extended family and that back home in Chile was a big thing
Yeah.
for you guys?
Yes,
And yeah,
yes.
most
There
of
was
the
no telephone,
socializing
so
and stuff was
at that
around
point
there?
you had to go and visit physically, catch a bus, go travel halfway across the city, 2 hours, 3 hours to go and visit your
To go
family,
and see them, eh?
and then 2 or 3 hours all the way back again. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard not having cousins.
And it was you and your sister, am I right? How old is your sister? Is she older or younger than you?
She's younger,
Younger than you by how many years?
3.5.
Okay, so growing up you were very close, I'm assuming?
We were close, but we didn't have anything in common. Like we were sisters, but we were I like cricket, soccer, climbing trees, getting dirty, playing with the boys. And my sister liked playing with dolls and dressing up with mum's high heels and wearing makeup.
Ah, so
So,
very different.
Very different.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
most of the time playing soccer with my dad out the back.
And is that what got you into your camping?
Well, no, my
When
family
did the
wasn't
camping
into. We got
start?
into camping with my stepdad, Graham.
Okay. He introduced you into
Camping.
the camping side of things now
Yeah.
in Australia?
Yeah.
And that I know we'd always talk about our camping adventures.
Yeah, we should go camping.
And stuff. It is very nice, but it is one of the nice things about Australia also to have that ability to go, you know. So like I suppose like you guys were here for a while and that. What made you want to stay in Australia then all those years?
It's
Was
the
it
best country to
best
be.
country? Tell me, what is it that makes it the best
Freedom,
country? Yeah.
democracy,
Yeah.
opportunities, education, blah, blah, blah.
And you feel
It's-
this is why a lot of people also want to come to
Of
Australia?
course, yeah, yeah. It's the best country.
And
You
what-
got opportunities. If you don't achieve, it's because you don't want to or because you're lazy. But if you want to, the opportunities are here. It's not a class. My family in Chile, my cousins, they're all high up, educated, because they got money.
Okay.
But in Australia, you don't have to have money to be educated.
Yes.
You just have to want to.
Want to do it? Yes.
And you just do it, and that's that. You got opportunities, you get a job, and it's good.
And what did you find? Like, you guys were obviously mixing with a lot of the migrant population. Did you find that people who came to Australia wanted to make something of their life, or did you find that
Yes.
they're lazy?
Oh, well, there's some exceptions. They are
But the
lazy
majority-
people, but
they are
the
lazy.
majority is good.
They all wanted to come and
Yeah.
take advantage of the opportunities that Australia
And
has
there's
to
lots of
offer.
people that get so homesick, they go back.
Yeah. It is very hard to
Yeah.
leave your place where you're used to everything and that. And you know, we see that even amongst Australian people that have traveled overseas and stuff.
Mm.
And they also find it a bit difficult. But no, it's part of that. And where does your sister live now? She's nearby you as
Yeah,
well?
she lives in
Just
Eden's
around the
Landing.
corner.
Okay.
So like 5-minute drive away, not even.
And how far do you live, Isabel?
I live next door.
You live next door. All right, tell me that story. How did you get to live next door to your
Well,
mom?
Because look, our family, we're only little, and when my parents divorced and mum remarried, she went to live in Darwin, so I stayed in South Australia.
Yeah.
My sister went to live with mum,
Okay.
and then when my sister was old enough and an adult, she left Darwin and went to live in Mackay.
Okay.
So for many years, I lived in South Australia, mum lived in Darwin, and my sister lived in Queensland. We were so far apart from each other for years.
Yes.
And for once in our lifetime, we were sick of that. We wanted to be in the same place, be together, actually see each other, not see each other once a year or twice a year, but
Yes.
all the time. So when we came to Queensland, we stayed, even though I lived in Brisbane, mum lived in Warwick, I was only 2 hours drive to go and
Just to go
visit,
see her more
or
often.
for
and
them
that.
to come here.
Nice.
Yeah.
And where was your sister living at that time, you said?
Well, she lived in Mackay,
Mackay. Okay.
and then she eventually moved down to Queensland, or Toowoomba.
No, Toowoomba, and then Victoria.
She lived in
a
Ballarat.
long time in Ballarat.
But then she relocated back to Brisbane?
Yeah, well, I persuaded her.
You persuaded her as the mum?
Yeah, I
What
said,
did you tell her?
to come to be with the family.
She
Yes.
was too isolated.
She was all along there, so she came
She came?
Yeah.
And who did she come with? Is she on her
by
own?
herself.
or-
Yeah.
Okay. And she lives down the road from you now? So you
Yeah.
guys still get together often? What's the family kind of time now like? What's it? You get once a week? Like, is it a weekend thing?
No, it's
Or
not.
Oh, you
just when it happens?
Well,
Anything formal or like
No,
formal, informal?
Alicia works shifts,
Yeah?
and when she's got time off, she spends with her husband. But we get together. We talked every day on the phone.
Okay.
We might not see each other every day, but we talked on the phone. When she goes to work, she rings me, and we talk for 20 minutes
Nice.
while she's going get to work.
And where's her husband living? Was he in Brisbane? Did she meet him here? Or
Yeah.
did they relocate?
No, they met here.
They met here? So it made it a bit easier for her to come to Brisbane then after she met somebody here and settled?
Yeah,
No?
it was a few years after.
And now that the pumpkin and that is,
It's all cooked,
yeah?
but it's too much water.
Okay. So you're not taking the stock, the
Well, it's
vegetable
not a
stock?
stock.
It's not
It's
really
got
stock?
nothing,
Okay.
just salt.
Okay.
But
So
all
what
the
you're doing now is
flavors,
to just,
the flavor stuff is here.
I see. So what you're doing now is to just reduce the water?
That's correct.
Okay.
And then we empty on the sink the water, drain it.
So how come we don't just drain the whole thing from
It's
now?
heavy, Mohammed.
All right. I thought you're making a special separation or something. No problem. So we'll make it lighter. No problem. You were fooling me. I thought there's something special happening.
Did you, we had an experience many years ago. An Australian friend invited us to go for a barbecue to someone else's house.
Okay.
And she just says, just bring a plate.
Yes.
So I did. I bought 3 plates, spoons, knives and forks. When my friend came to pick us up, well, I was to follow her in my car.
Yes.
She says, and where's your plate? I said, I got it here, 3 plates. And she said, oh no. You must put something in the plate.
This was an Australian friend.
So she still remembers until today. Bring a
When you came with
plate.
your empty plates?
But I didn't because she saved me.
Oh,
We
okay.
put crackers and cheese and tomato and we made a little plate and we took it. But she told everybody, of course, and they all laughed.
But we were the only migrants in that party.
Yes, we were the only ones.
Because everyone else was Australian.
And what's it like when you used to get together, like in Chile and stuff, when the family? Did you used to bring a plate like that?
No,
Or
no.
How
See,
did it?
I like the Australian way better
Yeah.
because if we want to have a good time and share a meal, you bring a bit of whatever you're going to eat, we share a salad,
Yeah.
and we get together.
Yes.
In Chile, you got to get money because you provide all the food for everybody.
Oh.
No good.
Okay.
So it's better Australian way.
Let me move this out your way. So for things like, did you want me to hold that?
No, thank you.
You okay?
You want me to burn you?
That's okay. So things like that, with the cultural differences
Yes.
and that,
Yes.
how did you find, because these are very simple things that often happen to us when we come from overseas and that people don't acknowledge,
Yeah.
and that, how did you have many of those kinds of experiences?
No, not really. But I like Australian way better because it's not a burden for the hostess to provide everything. You bring your own beer and you bring your salad and maybe a cake to share, which is better
Yes.
than having to provide for everybody.
Everything.
No.
And when we went to Chile this year, it was like that. My cousin did all the cooking, the shopping,
Oh, okay.
provided everything, and all we did was turning up. And we were explaining to them that in Australia, you can share food.
How did that go down in Chile? Did they
Well,
find that strange?
They found it strange, but I think we said to them, that way people can afford to have barbecues and parties, because if you rely on someone having the money to provide a meal for everybody, it's just too
Difficult.
expensive.
Yes.
And
And
if
the
you
work
get-
and that.
Yeah, and if you get invited,
Yeah.
you might not accept because you know that then it's your turn to invite.
Then back?
Everybody, yeah.
So it's better not. Australian way better.
Okay.
This is still a bit watery, so you're gonna experience watery Charquican.
And when the, nowadays, do you guys socialize much with like a lot of Aussie friends and
Yeah.
have that kind of thing?
Most of our friends are Aussie.
Yeah. And so now, after many years now being in Australia and that, how's things now in comparison?
Well, we're
living in
very-
this area and
We're very Australian. We
love your cricket.
I love cricket. And I played cricket. I played indoor cricket, outdoor cricket, you name it, I played it.
And the Barbies on the weekends.
Yeah, Barbies. Yeah, that was something that we enjoyed doing on weekends. Even with my dad. My dad remarried and he married a French lady.
Okay.
So it was another culture again, So their food and their getting together was different.
Yes.
It was great.
That's
So we got to eat a
got
lot of
introduced.
couscous and a lot of French and Algerian because she was from Algeria.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it was very nice.
And do you see your dad much anymore? Is he
No,
alive
Dad
still?
passed away 4
Passed
years
away?
ago.
Okay.
But when I lived in Adelaide, I used to see him every weekend.